how? What does it mean by destroy the mind by the mind?
सिर्फ माइंड से हो सकता है ना, जो हमें कर भी रहे, they don't know yet, but from the mind the self is cutting off. It's like एक फ्रेंडशिप को तोड़ के we're taking that step back. So with the help of the mind only, mind को एडुकेट किया ना अभी तुमने, कौन एडुकेट हुआ? इंटेलेक्ट शार्प हो गया. That is under the umbrella of the mind, and that is only helping the self gain that courage to leave and go.
So it's like a push-pull kind of thing. Okay.
We'll finish the third page and then we'll do the isness meditation, which will help us understand how to establish in the self. For that you have to be totally awake. You are, right? Yes. Let's do this last page. We'll read.
Rama asked, "Pray, describe the state of Turiya, which runs through the waking, dream, and deep sleep states without being recognized." Vasistha continued, "That pure and equanimous state which is devoid of ego sense and non-ego sense, of the real and the unreal, and which is free, is known as Turiya, the fourth state. It is the state of the liberated sage. It is the unbroken witness consciousness. It is different from the waking and the dreaming states, which are characterized by movement of thought. It is different from the deep sleep state, which is characterized by inertia and ignorance. When the ego sense is abandoned, there arises the state of perfect equilibrium in which the Turiya manifests itself. I shall narrate a parable, hearing which you will become enlightened, even if you are already enlightened. In a certain forest, there was a great sage. Seeing this extraordinary sage, a hunter approached him and asked him, "O sage, a deer which had been wounded by my arrow came this way. Tell me which way it went." The sage replied, "We are holy men who dwell in the forest, and our nature is peace. We are devoid of ego sense. The ego sense and the mind, which make the activities of the senses possible, have come to a rest. I do not know what are known as waking, dream, and deep sleep. I remain established in the Turiya. In it, there is no object to be seen." The hunter could not grasp the meaning of the sage's words. He went his way. "Hence, I tell you, O Rama, there is naught but the Turiya. The Turiya is the unmodified consciousness that alone exists. Waking, dream, and sleep are states of the mind. When they cease, the mind dies. Sattva alone remains, which the yogi aspire to reach. This is the conclusion of all scriptures. There is no avidya, ignorance, and no maya, illusion, in reality. Brahman alone exists. Some call it the void, others pure consciousness, others the Lord, and they argue among themselves. Abandon all these notions. Rest in nirvana without movement of thought, with the mind greatly weakened and the intelligence at peace. Rest in the self as if you are deaf, dumb, and blind. Inwardly abandon everything. Externally engage yourself in the appropriate action. The existence of the mind alone is happiness. The existence of the mind alone is unhappiness. By remaining unaware of the mind, let all these cease. Remain unaffected by what is attractive and what is unattractive. By just this much of self-effort, this samsara is overcome. By remaining unaware of pleasure and pain, and even that which lies between the two, you rise above sorrow. Just by this little self-effort, you attain the infinite.
So we'll actually make an attempt to understand Turiya state now. Okay? For that, I need you to be very, very awake, aware, keep your books down. Yeah? We will meditate and then try and match our experience with this. Yeah? For that, you have to be super aware, otherwise, you will be the only one left out in the room who doesn't understand what the others are talking about. Yeah? We'll either close our eyes completely or just keep a little crack open. However, you are comfortable and you're sure that you're going to be 100% aware and in the present moment, do that. Yeah? Relax the body. Be completely here. Totally become aware of your mind. Very aware. And start emptying your mind. This is not important right now. That is also not important right now. Empty the mind one by one. There is no room here for thoughts, no room for emotions. Park the ego outside where you parked your shoes. No room for the thoughts of the past. Keep them out. Focus completely here in the present. Empty your mind of any thoughts of future. Don't even think about what will happen next in this meditation. Just empty. Empty the mind. Empty the mind like an empty room. There is no furniture there, nothing. Nobody home. Now break the walls of the room and just expand that emptiness. This that you are experiencing now is the isness. Is it an object? You can answer me yes or no.
No.
Was it just born?
No.
Was it always there?
Yes.
This that you are experiencing, can it be destroyed?
No.
Does it have a form?
No.
Does it have a size? Check, maybe there is a limit. Is there a limit?
No.
Can fire destroy it?
No.
What about water? Can it wash it away?
No.
So none of the elements can destroy this? I don't hear you. So this that does not have a size, shape, that you did not create, that was not born, that cannot be destroyed, but yet it was always there. Is this something you are dreaming of?
No.
So it's not a dream state, correct? Is it a sleep state?
No.
And can you call it a waking state?
No.
So it is something beyond waking, dream, and sleep. You can talk from here. That means you can take actions from here. Is that correct?
Correct.
That means you can work from here. Now check, is there any hatred in it?
No.
Any jealousy? Any greed? Any delusion? So none of those vices are here. Correct?
Correct.
Now look deeper, even deeper. Is there something like happiness or sadness? Any of the opposites?
No. Yes.
Everybody? Even a glimpse is good enough. You've tasted it, at least. An enlightened sage is established in this state. You were there for a few seconds and then some thought came and then it pulled us out, right? Some emotion came and it pulled us out. He does not get pulled out. He is always in that state. Yeah? You got just a glimpse of that sweet water. And you yourself told me it is beyond waking. It is beyond sleep. It is beyond dream. You were completely aware, right? You're not imagining anything. Yeah? That state is ever pure and it is untouched. And you yourself notice there is no greed, hatred, anger, no negative qualities there. All this just belongs to the thought or the mind that comes and pulls us out from that state. Yeah? Again and again, just take that step back and stay established. To stay established, that emptying the room you'll have to keep doing again and again. So much so that mind loses power. The ego starts losing power. And you can just stay in that emptiness, established, unshakable. Yeah? So the only remaining task now is to loosen this power of the ego and the mind that goes on. That's it. Yeah? You've already tasted this. And tasting this is not easy. Yeah? We taught it to over 100 people in the past 2 weeks. Yeah? Very few lucky people get it. That's because of your spiritual journey, because you've been really walking the path and you've been chiseling your awareness. That's why you even get a glimpse of it. Yeah? So now that glimpse you have to work on and expand and learn to stay there. Only you can work on it. Nobody else can help you do that. So that emptying the room thingy, do it again and again and again. Anyway, it's a broken record playing again and again. Unnecessary rubbish. Not that it's something very important. Important to run the whole world. No. It doesn't even run your life. It just keeps running in your mind unnecessarily. Yeah. So empty, again and again, here, in the now, Yeah. Once you understand this, you will understand what I had told you about psychic bandwidth. Then it's empty. It's an empty room. There's lots of room for whatever tasks need to come. There's nothing like getting overwhelmed. Yes, it doesn't matter the amount of work that comes your way, because this is so empty. You experience the peace in that emptiness, even if you touched it for a few seconds. Imagine being like that for the whole day. Yeah? That is why it's a state they make fun of also. That's almost like asleep and awake. Yeah, you'll get this taste when you constantly stay there. It's almost like you're asleep for the vasanas of the world. You don't care about them. Yeah? You're asleep to that, and yet you are so awake and aware and sharp and so much in the present moment. Yeah? So you're asleep and awake. Yeah.
It's also kind of consolidation, like you're scattered, but when it's just everything fits.
Yes.
It's like everything comes in line rather than being out.
Yes. Buddha called it collectedness, and people translated it wrongly as concentration. It's just collecting that scattered brain of yours and just being here and now. And not even worried about those thoughts which are coming or emotions that are coming and vasanas that are arising. None of that is important. When you don't give it importance, it doesn't even arise. You just start noticing. They fall away very soon. Yeah? And this self, just being centered, becomes stronger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah? So here, the object of your meditation after reaching this stage should only be empty mind.
So in this sense, it's like the purest state of being in Sakshi.
Correct. Sakshi is equal to self. Who will be a Sakshi? Who is perceiving? Who is looking at me right now? Through those eyes, observe the one that is not observed. Become aware of the one who is looking at me through those eyes. Are you aware? Yeah. That is the perceiver. That is the self. That itself is awareness. That itself is Sakshi. Are you getting it? Self is not something very big or that you are going to find him somewhere else in a temple. No. Yeah. The biggest joke is God is my neighbor, and I didn't know that. He's right here. So just be there. Just being there. Like statue. Becoming statue there. Play that game with yourself. You can't move. Just stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Thoughts don't matter. They shouldn't bother. They come and they go. They're like passing clouds, but I am the sky. And I've suddenly realized that. I am the sky. Nothing can taint me. Stay there. And see how these lose power. Yeah. These come up, go down, and finally they lose power. And you're there. This is a practice. You stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there. You'll finally get to the stage what he is describing as Turiya Avastha. There is the story. I shall narrate a parable. There was one more thing that I missed.
Manifests itself.
Okay, waking state, dreaming states are characterized by movement of thought. This is very clear, no? Because when I asked you, is it the waking state, you all hesitated. Waking state means there is thought moving in the waking state. Are you getting this? Turiya Avastha is when I am established in that self and there was no thought moving, just absolute stillness. Yes? You do shuttle between that Turiya and again waking, again Turiya, because you're not established yet there. But you tasted Turiya, you tasted that self, that quiet stillness, even for a few seconds, 2-3 seconds. Yeah? So you understood the shuttle that can happen to you. Yes? This needs to be worked on. This can only be worked on with constant practice and your thirst to remain in the isness. If you give up, you will be back into the same thing that you were doing before. You develop this thirst that I have to stay here, constant awareness. Yes? Then thoughts don't bother so much. Only in waking and dreaming states there is movement of thought. It is different from the deep sleep state where there is inertia and ignorance. There was no inertia, right? Yeah. When the ego sense is abandoned, there arises the state of perfect equilibrium. Was there ego there? There's nothing, right? And there the Turiya manifests itself. And there is this story, where he goes and he asks the sage, "Oh sage, a deer which has been wounded by my arrow came this way. Tell me which way it went." And the sage said, "We are holy men who dwell in the forest. Our nature is peace and we are devoid of ego sense." The ego sense and the mind which make the activities of the senses possible have come to a rest. This is very important for us all the time, that ego came and really took us away. The ego does not like you being silent and still. The ego starts feeling very insecure. I'm not getting attention. Oh, this person is becoming a sage. Oh, this person is going to drop me. It's the death of ego. You know that, right? Spirituality is nothing but the death of the ego, and the ego does not like it. So it's going to try and pull you out to those thoughts or emotions or whatever pull you out. The ego sense and the mind which make the activities of the senses possible have come to a rest. I do not know what are known as waking, dream and deep sleep. I remain established in the Turiya. In it there is no object to be seen. Was there any object? The first question I asked you. Is it itself an object? The hunter could not grasp the meaning of the sage's words. He went his way. Hence I tell you, O Rama, there is not but the Turiya. The Turiya is unmodified consciousness, and that alone exists. Waking, dream and sleep are states of the mind. When they cease, the mind dies. Are you getting it? The mind could not tolerate you being in that state too long, and it started pulling you out. Yeah, but if you learn that skill of being established there, the mind dies. That does not mean you become mindless, like silly mindless, but the mind is a tool. I just pick it up, use it for what I need to use, and then put it back. Yeah, that master kind of mind which has taken over the show, that master dies. Sattva alone remains, which the yogi aspire to reach. This is the conclusion of all scriptures. Doesn't matter which scripture you do, this is the end. There is no avidya or ignorance. There is no maya or illusion in reality. Brahman alone exists. Some call it the void, others pure consciousness, others the Lord. and they argue amongst themselves. Abandon all these notions. Rest in nirvana without movement of thought, with the mind greatly weakened and the intelligence at peace. Rest in the self as if you are deaf, dumb, and blind. Did you feel like that when you were there? Deaf, dumb, and blind. Yeah. Again and again, just take that step back. Like you're looking at me right now. Right now, also, you can take that step back into the isness and just be. So become empty. Empty your mind. You don't need to close your eyes because you have to learn to do this with eyes open. Empty your mind completely right now. Drop. Drop. Not important. Not important. Not important. Now expand that emptiness and just be there. Deaf, dumb, and blind. Nothingness, emptiness. See, you can be there with eyes open. Getting it? Again and again, just stay there. Stay there. You can listen from there. I'm noticing you can cough from there. You can even think logical thoughts from there. Then you won't think wrong. You won't think bad. You won't do negative. Automatically, just being there. Are you getting it? This is the end of all scriptures. This is it. If you don't come to this, the scripture is not over for you. So simple, no?
So, even when you were looking at me, that there was a pull that in seeing also there is seeking. So that's when it was like, wait a minute. And even when I'm seeing, you lean into with some seeking there.
Correct. That only self again jumps into the sight that it is seeing. To just become observed or become aware of the one who is aware. You cannot see the one who is
Yes.
aware. This is very clear, no? There's no way you can see the seer or see the perceiver. Yeah? You can just be the perceiver. So just be the perceiver. Don't jump into that which is being perceived. Are you getting it? While being the perceiver, you can still take actions that are required with the perceived. Okay? This is Turiya. Being established here all the time is Turiya. Not 1 second. 1 second is not Turiya. That glimpses that you got many times.
At the moment, if we are still, we can stay there longer. When we try, when we get into action, something just moves.
Yeah. That's
Closed
why
eyes is easier. It's easier with closed eyes.
Yeah.
Or half closed eyes.
you practice once a day. This is what you practice. Now, this is the highest thing. Now, you don't go down to breath or anything after finding this. No point. No point. Are you getting this? Now, your object of meditation should be empty mind. That is where you begin your meditation. Now, there's no need to begin with smaller things. You did the smaller things to reach here so that the level of understanding could get here. Now you start your meditation with emptying the mind and being with that empty mind, empty room. And now empty that also, no walls, empty, empty, empty.
वो empty होता है ना, then the thought comes, oh wow, the mind is empty.
That's okay. Examining thought. अभी यहाँ से meditation के rules थोड़े change होंगे.
Okay.
Yeah, from here onwards, it's like present moment thought is okay. Oh, this is empty. Gaya thought. It's not engaging you.
Yeah.
It's not an engaging
not-
thought.
Yeah.
It's not a disturbing thought. It's just an examining thought. Am I here now? Yes, I'm here.
Is this not a dialogue? Because
This is
yesterday
okay.
I was
It's
doing
not a
that and then I
dialogue.
didn't understand if my
So only
I'm talking to
disturbing.
myself.
Only disturbing thought. Just disturbing you from your present meditation?
No.
So only disturbing thought is something that you have to empty. Because you will naturally start now observing what is happening in the silence. And suddenly you will notice breath nahi hai.
Huh. It's like,
और bodilessness feel हो रहा है. Suddenly body is not there. Breath is not there. All that can start happening and you can become aware of it. That's okay. That's fine. Just keep going deeper in that silence. Now you've got the moti, the pearl that you were looking for. Now you've got hold of it. Now you have to go deep. Do you get it? No, don't become very happy with the superficial pearl. You have to go down deep into the ocean now. You just got onto something that was very difficult. If I taught you this in the beginning of Yoga Vasistha, would you get it? What is she talking about? Yeah? This is something that you get only with the progression of knowledge towards the end. With words it comes. And through these words, see, it's automatically something that happened to you. Yeah? So now be with it. Your object of meditation going forward is empty mind and now just going in deeper into that emptiness. This is where Samadhi begins. Yeah? And that's what I'm going to be teaching you in Buddha, those who are coming. Yeah? The 8 types of Samadhi. We'll go deeper into this. So those who have not enrolled, quickly enroll.
When the emptiness is there, there's still something like you feel like you're established in your heart area. Is that common?
Yes, but that also, take a step back even from the body, just in the awareness. Just awareness. Awareness feels like you are in the background and everything is in the foreground. The thoughts are in the foreground. Even the body sensations. So this established in the heart is like a body sensation. This is also in the foreground. Yeah? You just be again and again go to the awareness. Be the awareness rather than being aware of that which is in the foreground. Okay? You have to take that step back and just be the awareness. So in this, what am I giving energy to? Being the awareness, not to that thought or that sensation. Are you getting what I'm saying? Not giving energy to the foreground or the passing clouds, but energy to that sky, being there. Yeah. Start practicing, it will start opening up. Every day, just be. And you don't have to close your eyes. Even when you're driving, okay, just be. Take that step back. Empty the thoughts. Empty, 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 empty. And just be. Can I drive from just that empty mind? Still mind. Okay? The object of every meditation is to bring you to this point. And then from this point, now you just go into silence. Did I complete it? No. Okay. I did that. The mind becomes weakened, you got that, and the intelligence is at peace. Rest in the self as if you are deaf, dumb, and blind. Inwardly abandon everything. Yeah? Everything, every emotion, every thought, every sensation. This is paining, that is hurting, sensation here. Everything. Abandon everything. Yeah? externally engage yourself in the appropriate action. Is that clear? So you can do this while driving, while sitting somewhere, or lying down. Anywhere you can do this. This is the meaning of walking meditatively, talking meditatively. Whatever action you're doing, acting meditatively. Are you getting this? The existence of the mind alone is happiness. The existence of the mind alone is unhappiness. Sukha dukkha are here in the foreground. In the background, did you experience any sukha or dukkha? Yeah. Do you understand now why he says that both sukha and dukkha are really dukkha? Yes. Because there is doership involved even in sukha. There is doership involved even in dukkha. Only in non-doership can you rest. Only here can you be at peace. Do you get it? This is Ananda. Ananda does not have an opposite. See, Sukha and Dukkha are opposite of each other. Yeah? Ananda is bliss. It does not have any opposite. That experience, even for a few seconds, if you had it, it was just still. There was no graph going up. Did you notice? Like you have in happiness? There's no upward graph. It was just still. Yeah? Can you still experience it? Go back. So you can go back like this if you make an intention. Just go back. Just go back. Make this a practice again and again and again. By remaining unaware of the mind, let all these cease. Are you getting it? By remaining unaware of the mind. What are you aware of? Just the awareness. The one who is perceiving right now. What is the meaning of this? Whatever thoughts come, I am the one who gives them energy by becoming aware of them. And what happens? I start talking and indulging and it becomes a big fire. Yeah? Unaware literally means ignore them. Let them come, let them go. Let them come, let them go. You just be established in that awareness. Awareness again here is that self, where you were just now, that isness, the empty mind. Are you getting it? Yes. The more you get established in this, the more empty your mind will become. And then there will not be any attacks of thoughts, of emotions. So this is weakening of those. Clear?
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
So when that happens, when you take the step back, like your senses become lazy almost.
Yeah, you feel lazy, but are you lazy really?
No.
No.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? So like you said, asleep but awake. There's a brightness or a freshness in that, but the sense organs, if you will, like even the act of speaking feels laborious or slow. It's kind of lazy in that sense, right?
Yeah. That's how you become silent and silent and silent and silent. And then you will not even speak when not required. So gossip and lies and boasting is totally out of the window, but he will not even give unnecessary advice. He will not open his lips unless a question is asked. Now do you understand where Buddha comes from? Not to even speak unless a question has been asked. Can you remain so silent? Only such a person can remain. No? He's so relishing in that felt so peaceful. That energy is amazing. You just cannot spoil it. Anything you do or say feels like
Disturbing.
Yeah,
So,
you're making it impure, dirty. Yeah, that's why he becomes more and more silent. Yeah, he starts withdrawing. Nothing to fear. If it's happening naturally, let it happen.
so a lot of times after meditation, when we don't want to talk or
It's the same thing.
even the way you walk or the speed of your walking changes.
Yes.
So it is because of that.
Yes. Yeah. Let everything cease. He says no. By remaining unaware of the mind, let all these cease. Let it cease. Your ego now wants to hold on. No. Let it cease. It's okay. Yeah. Remain unaffected by what is attractive and what is unattractive. By just this much of self-effort, this samsara is overcome. It is so easy. It is so easy, really. Just this little effort. And this samsara will not touch you anymore. Nothing affects you. So what? Big deal. Yeah. By remaining unaware of pleasure and pain and of even that which lies between the two, you rise above sorrow. Just by this little self-effort, you attain the infinite. This is it, the last sutra. क्या बोलते हैं? The last candy in my bag. Finished. हो गया. Holidays खत्म. There's nothing more to give you. There are no more meditations left.
Are we allowed to get out of a Turiya state on Tuesday and go work?
Of course, you don't get out of it. You work from there. Now start practicing. Now your only practice is empty mind. That's it. And going deeper into the empty mind. And now you've just tasted it. Huh? Don't think, oh, I'm enlightened. I met self today or I met God today. Thoda sa hold your horses.
Ego Ganga.
You've always tasted it. You were just not aware like this. That's it. Now awareness has sharpened through the years with the amount of knowledge you have done. And that is why you could get it like that in a glimpse. Yeah. So now that you've understood empty mind, now this is what you hold as your object of meditation and go deeper and deeper into that emptiness. Yeah. Even if the mind comes up with thoughts and ideas, emotions, just U3SR. I taught you this, right? U3SR. Unhook from the thought. Yeah. Become unconcerned about it. Unclench all the tightness in the body, in the mind. Yeah. Smile and relax and return back to your empty mind. Every time a thought comes, just U3SR, again come back to empty mind. Again a thought comes, again U3SR, come back to empty mind. Yeah? Examining thought of the present moment is okay. But going forward, only this should be your meditation. Anything else will be lower than this because you've touched empty mind now. You've understood empty mind. Yeah? Now from here, you go deep into samadhi. Okay.
I have a question.
Huh.
In the isness meditation that you just did, I got everything except the point where you ask us to expand.
कोई बात नहीं. Empty mind तो आया ना. बस slowly उतना भी हो जाएगा. वो सिर्फ emptiness को expand होने देना है without any limitation of that room. It's just words. If you didn't have the walls of the room anyways, you were expanding. And if you were just listening to me and stuck with my words of empty room, then you had the walls. Bas.
Right. So how do you compare it to U3SR?
Compare मतलब अलग नहीं है. U3SR जब कोई thought आ रहा है. When you start thinking about, oh, my husband said this disturbing thought, not required during meditation.
Right.
Yeah, you just U3SR it. Unhook. Unconcerned about it right now. This 15 minutes I don't need to think about him. That is unconcerned. Unclench. यहाँ tightness है, यहाँ tightness है, यहाँ tightness है. Unclench that. Yeah? Every time a thought, a disturbing thought comes, you have very unawares, you have clenched the membranes in the brain, in the forehead also. To unclench. And then smile and then return back to empty mind. And stay with empty mind. Now in empty mind, a thought that, oh, it is empty. It's okay. You don't have to U3SR that. It's that present moment thought. It's an examining thought. Examining your current meditation thought is okay. Is allowed. Okay? So that's how you start with Vichara Anugama Samadhi. The only Vichar is about the meditation. Got it? And then we are going to go deeper from there now. At least so that your Vichara Samadhi is happening for some time.
Okay. What I understand by expansion is going deeper.
हाँ ठीक है. In every धीरे धीरे होगा ना. मैंने तो 2 मिनट में पूरा बता दिया ना. तो तुमको थोड़ा टाइम में करना पड़ेगा. Going. And just letting it be. Okay. And those in between, when I say it does not have a form, there is no limit. You yourself see that, experience that and be with it. So every time a thought comes of some kind of a form, you know you're going away from business. Understood, no? Haan, Runaji.
What is U3SR?
Auntie, I just explained it. Third time I'm explaining now. Unhook from the thought.
Unhook, okay.
Unhook, unconcerned, unclench. Then smile and return. Now please don't go looking for a scripture that has it. Created by Ekta. Okay, this just helps you relax and go deeper in that silence. That's it. Okay? Super clear? Everybody clear here? All in Turiya Vasistha?
I have a question. I don't feel like the expansion, but I can feel the nothingness. But that's okay, right? You don't have to feel.
Again, that was just words.
No,
One meditation I use it, next meditation there is no break, the walls and expand. Now you're waiting for expand.
I'm caught up in this room.
Sandesh ke kamre ko.
Just read and for me if I'm reading.
Yeah, words में मत फंसो. अब समझो, empty mind you tasted that. Now just go in that empty mind. That's all it is. Simple. Yeah. Next time I lead it, this will not be there.
It's okay, then it's fine. I got the crux.
Super clear? Super clear? And I'll see you next week. Next week's class is very important. He tells you the stages of enlightenment, basically. The last part. So those few ones in this class who are on the threshold of enlightenment, they can get enlightened in the next 5 pages. Chalo, then I'll see you next week. Jai Jai Jai.
Jai Jai Jai.